Hi everybody, it's Tatiana and we are still in the same day of pre-recording, as you can see. But this video is going to be about a project little thingy that I'm going to do in 2016. I was about to say 15. And that is going to be Project Reread, and this is going to be where I take time to read some books again that I have read and loved or have in a different format or want to experience again. And so this will be on top of the TBR that I already have set aside for 2016 of the books that I definitely want to get to and whatever other books that I read. So the first that is on my list is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This is the huge illustrated edition, and it's illustrated by Jim Kay. And this will be my fourth time reading this story, but my first time in this format. And I've flipped through a couple of times and looked at the pictures, and they are just gorgeous, and I'm super duper excited to get to this, but I am going to hold off on this until next year. So this is one on the list, and they won't be read in the order that I'm listing them. These are just the ones that I'm going to reread. The second is Behind Closed Doors by Kimberly Lawson Roby. I read this years ago, and I honestly don't remember much about the plot. So the reason why I want to reread this is because there's a lady at my church who was clearing off her bookshelves, clearing out some books off her bookshelves a few years ago, and she gave the books to me, and this was in the stack of books that she gave me, another copy. So I have two copies of it, and I was going to take them, put them in the bag that's going to Second and Charles the next time I make my venture to visit my family. But I wanted to reread my copy because if it's not something that I feel like I need to keep, and since I've read it and don't remember the plot, and a lot of the Kimberly Lawson Roby books that I read, I enjoy them so much that I don't forget the plot, but there's nothing about these characters that are still in my head, so I'm thinking that this may need to go in that bag as well. Not saying it's not a good book, it just may not be something that was memorable for me or for me, but I want to reread this again before I make that decision and make sure that I'm giving the book the justice it deserves. Because I also read this right after my stepfather passed, I think. Yeah, I read this not long after my stepfather passed, so that may have something to do with it as well, because at one point I was just reading to give my mind something to do, but I wasn't taking in information that well. So yeah, I want to give this book some more attention before I just decide to give it away. Then we have Liliths Brood by Octavia Butler, and these are three books: Dawn, Adulthood, Rights, and Imago. The first book, Dawn, follows Lilith. The second follows her child, one of her offspring, the first of its kind. The third follows another of her offspring, and it's succession after the world has been destroyed. And it's three stories, and when I first read this, I read all three back to back, and it was very overwhelming. As I said before, Octavia Butler writes so well. It's just, she was just an awesome author, and there's so much about her stories that are so plausible, and in reading all three of these back to back, it got to be a little much for my psyche, and it kind of jacked me up a little bit, and I think I went into a huge reading slump after reading this the first time, because there were just so many things that were going on in my head that just messed me up where this goes. So what I'm going to do is read one book one story every 4 months. I have said for so long that I wanted to read these again and take them in again, and so I'm going to make sure that I do that next year. And the last on this list, so it's not a long list, is The Long Way From Home, A Long Way From Home by Connie Briscoe. I recently picked this up at my first visit to Second and Charles, and I have been looking for this book in hardback for years. This is my favorite read by Connie Briscoe. It is a fictionalized retelling of her family history, and I just love this story, and now that I have my own copy, I want to read it. So yeah, this is on the list as well. That's all that I have for this video. Do you have plans to do any rereading this year? Do you like to reread And if you do, what kinds of books do you like to reread? And if you don't, cool. Thank you for watching, and have a good weekend whenever you see this video. Peace out.